Hi, my name is David Fine, Rabbi David Fine. I live in Modi'in, Israel. I am the founder and director of the Barkai Center for Practical Rabbinics and Community Development, where we seek to train young Israeli Hebrew-speaking rabbis in practical rabbinics in order to help them create community and to be communal leaders. So far, in 12 years, we've given intense practical rabbinic education to approximately 100 rabbis. Before I read chapter 5 of the book of Echa, the book of Lamentations, I wanted to talk about what I thought is the theme of chapter 5. And since Lamentations only has 5 chapters, I think that it really is, in many ways, the theme of the entire book of Lamentations, or at the very least, the message that Lamentations, or the author of Lamentations, wanted people to be left with when they finished reading it. And that is a very important theme this year, and that is the theme of hope and optimism. Because in all reality, despite the fact that Tisha B'Av, that the 9th of Av is a day of mourning on the Jewish calendar, Jews really don't know how to mourn 100%. They don't know how to be sad and pessimistic 100%, because built into the very notion of mourning in Judaism is the notion of hope and optimism for the future. And it's the Jewish belief that this hope and optimism has been one of the reasons that Judaism has been around for thousands of years, whereas many other cultures and countries and religions have fallen by the wayside. And especially this year, when we've suffered so much in the war of October 7th and the Iron Swords War, and we've seen so much negativity and so much pessimism, we have to utilize this message of optimism that Tisha B'Av, that the 9th of Av teaches us. So the last few verses of the book of Echa, of chapter 5, are the following. Ata Adonai Leolam Teshev Kisecha L'Dor Vador. You, O Lord, you remain forever. Your throne is one that lasts from generation to generation. Lama lanetzach tishkachenu ta'azvenu le'orech yamim. Why should you forget us for all eternity? Why should you leave us for the length of days? But then hashivenu Adonai lecha v'nashuva chadesh yamenu kekedem. Return us to you, O Lord, and we shall renew our days as of old. And then actually the last verse in the book, Ki ma'os mastanu katzavta alinu ad ma'od, means that you have become disgusted with us, you have become very angered with us. And the tradition is that we actually don't want that to be the last verse of the book that we read when we read it publicly. So we repeat the second to last verse, which is such a famous verse where God talks, or we ask God to return to him and for him to return to us and to renew our days as of old. And in fact, the entire afternoon of Tisha B'Av, which is seen as much more positive than the evening before and the morning of Tisha B'Av, is in many ways thanking God for taking out his anger on what we call eitzim va'avanim, on wood and stones, meaning on material, on the material that the temple was made out of, right? God could have taken out his anger on us, on human beings, but instead he decided to spare us and to, in fact, take out his anger on material goods, on a building, instead of on us, instead of on his beloved. So in many ways, although we are very saddened and we believe it's tragic, the destruction of the temple, in many ways, it's positive that that was what was destroyed instead of us. So we very much, in many ways, thank God and are optimistic and hopeful for the future, despite the mourning which surrounds us on this day. So now, with that message, I will read chapter 5. Zechor Adonai mehayalanu habita urei echer patenu nachalatenu nebcha lezarim batenu lenachrim yitomim hayinu v'ein av imotenu ke'amanot meimenu b'chesef shatinu eitzeinu b'mechir yavo Al tzavarenu nirdafnu yaganu v'lohu nachlanu. Mitzrayim natanu yad ashur lispo alachem. Avotenu chatu v'enam v'anachnu avonotehem savanu. Avadim mashluvanu porek in miadam. B'nafshenu navi lachmenu mipnei cherev hamidbar. Orenu kitanur nechmaru mipnei zalaparav. Nashim b'tzion inu b'tulot be'arei Yehuda. Sarim biadam nitlu mipnei zakenim lo nehedaru. Bachurim techon nasau unearim ba'etz kashalu. Zikenim mishar shavatu bachurim miniginatam. Shabbat misos libenu nepach le'eva mecholenu. Nafla atara roshenu oinalanu kichatanu alzeh. Haya davel libenu al ele chashku einenu al hartzion sheshamim shualim hilchuval ata Adonai v'olam teshev kisacha l'dor vador lama lanetzach tishkachenu tazvenu li'orech yamim hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Ki imaos mastanu katzavta aleinu ad me'od. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu kekedem. May this year see our true salvation, the rebuilding of our temple, and may the day of Tisha B'Av forever be switched from a day of mourning and sadness to a day of ultimate happiness. Blessings.